Now I do two types of video, well more than two, but the main two types of videos on this channel will be a bug out bag build, and then you got hiking and trekking. And I say hiking and trekking because they're two totally different things. Trekking is with the emphasis on putting down the miles. Hiking, you can just use camping gear, big old tent, big old sleeping bag, because the emphasis is not on the trek. The emphasis is on the night camp. Then of course we've got a bug out bag where the emphasis is on survival. My bug out survival bag is based on the British Army SEMO. If you've got a bug out bag, you're going to need to change clothes. A river crossing, you get wet, you get cold, you get hypothermia, you die. As where trekking particularly, you wouldn't even have a change of clothes. There's people on the Appalachian Trail and Colorado Trail, the big long distance trekkers who won't have anything, perhaps a pair of socks or a change of underwear. There are some that don't even do that. Don't ask me how they keep them clean. Hi and welcome to bexbugotsurvivor. A little while ago we looked at my clothing allocation, and part of it was the buffalo smock, which meant I could transport less in my pack regarding the clothing allocation. Now we need to look at what's on my legs. So why would I want to keep my clothing allocation light? Because for an older boy like me, it means I can transport less weight and carry it further. The premise is simple, isn't it? I do have these lovely trousers on here which are really lightweight, they're airy, they're not cotton. This is an overhead smock. Now I did look at lightweight rain jackets for my trekking. Remember, trekking, the emphasis is on the miles, not heavy kit. If you want to see heavy kit, there's loads of videos on a bug out. This is not a bug out. So that is a full size waterproof smock. So it'll double as a ground protector. It'll double up as an overhead shelter, something to wear when it rains. It's multifaceted, and for that reason I'm putting in my lightweight smock, about 280 grams I think for that. When I get to camp, I do want a lightweight jacket. So this is probably the only thing in my clothes other than a pair of socks that I've got. This is by Trespass, and it's lightweight yet very, very warm. And I had to rob this off my missus because I just can't get hold of another. And it is firmly insulated. Nearly said it, with this stuff here. It's cold heat, and it has been amazing. And I can just pop this over a t-shirt. Now, because I'm a hammock camper, I have a hood here. Now this is a down hood, so it covers the ears, back of my head. So it's like a balaclava, because in a hammock you want to keep the top of your head pretty warm, like that. So that is a balaclava section. If you want to go with a beanie, go with a beanie. Well, if you don't want to bring clothing, don't bring them. If you do want to bring clothing, bring them. There's no right or wrong, because there's only you carrying these. And if I've said it once, I've said it a million times, it's not a one-size-fits-all world. So there's a lovely warm jacket. This is what I'm going to put on after I've been walking. I need to cool down naturally, and as soon as I'm cooled down, I need to pop this on, which I'll do now. So a tiny little sack to put my coat in, and a spare pair of socks. And I think socks and underwear is probably all you need for a trek. These are socks I change into when I get to camp. I never want to keep the same pair of socks I've been hiking in to get into bed with. I want a nice pair of dry, warm socks. Pair of shorts, obviously quick, easy to dry, and I don't have to worry about waterproof leggings, but I do have a set because you need to have a winter set and a summer set, and the winter set would have my rainproof leggings. But what if it starts getting cold and I want to warm my legs up? So we're going to counter that argument now. Let's have a look at these. Long underwear. So why have I got long underwear and not long trousers with a removable leg section on the shorts? Why am I doing it like this? These are what would come inside the sleeping bag with me. Long underwear, and there is a top section for this I can change into. Nice and warm. Now you can use merino wool if that is your preference. I've done a video on merino wool and I'll be straight up honest with you, it didn't work for me. And a lot of people in the comments got very upset that I didn't get on well with merino wool. But I'm not the only one. I think it's a 50-50 school of thought, merino wool. If you like it, buy it and go for it, stick with it. No one's saying it doesn't work, I'm saying it's not for me. Neither is cotton, by the way. So a kind of polyester mix. This is a polyester mix which is thermally insulated to 2.8 tog. So once these are on, I can sleep in these and be warm, and if the temperature takes a dip while I'm trekking, I marry them up with the shorts. So that's how I'm going to trek and that's how I'm going to sleep. So now it's doing two jobs. I can walk in these and sleep in these. And this is how I would be for my long distance trek. Now I could go with or without the 2.8 insulated tog leggings. I could have them in my pack. Remember, it's part of the sleep system, but it's also, I can keep myself warm. It also means I'm not carrying my leggings in the pack, taking up a little bit of bulk, because my pack is only 25 litres, and that's including my sleep system, the shelter, the stove, just 25 litres. Although this pack is 25 litres, this is not the pack. I use a gellet. So I use the Gellert 25 litres for distance trekking, and again the emphasis isn't on heavier tents, heavier sleeping bags. The emphasis is putting down the miles, and secondary really is a shelter. You could do that with a tarp. Just string a tarp up, protect the ground from your sleeping bag insulation there, and you're away. First thing in the morning, strike down, put it back in a very, very small pack. Remember, the emphasis is on the trek, not the camp. So a tarp, lightweight down sleeping bag, or hammock quilts in my case. So I do dress the packs completely different between a bug out bag and a trekking pack. This is probably the only thing I'm carrying in my pack. So it's all about trying to get things compact and light for trekking. There's where your emphasis is. And of course I wouldn't want to be walking in this unless it was really particularly cold. Now I've got this on, I can keep this dry if I wanted with that waterproof poncho. Now if you want to use a waterproof jacket, you can. But I find ponchos just breathe so much better, especially around the old pitteroonies. You don't want to be just as wet on the inside through sweat as the outside through rain. In a British Army SEMO, you've got to carry a full change of clothing and your smock and your waterproofs. So I build my bug out bag in the same tradition as a British Army SEMO, complete equipment marching order SEMO. For a personalised trek where the emphasis is putting down the mileage, that is the extent there of my clothing allocation. Just one small stuff sack with something warm to wear. I mean, these people that I'm addressing here aren't so much trolls. They're the armchair know-it-all, know-nothing morons. They've seen another channel insist you don't need a full change of clothing. And that is pretty true. You'll see other channels say you need a full change of clothing, and that's also pretty true. It all depends whether you're a bushcrafter, a field hiker, long distance trekker, weekend camper. Once you know the difference between camping, trekking, hiking, bushcraft, survival, then you can adapt your clothing to that style. This is lightweight trekking, where the emphasis is putting on the miles rather than putting on the kilos. So my leggings here under my shorts, really, really nice, cozy, warm. Now I know there's going to be people who are watching this who won't like to replicate this, only because they don't like the look. The look of something has nothing to do with its functional ability to perform its task.